Baxter. This interview is being done for my recreation intro to sport management course. I am here with Erica Tennyson, who is a state park ranger. So first I introduce you, but if you could just give a brief introduction of yourself.
My name's Ranger Erica Tennyson. I work at William B. Umstead State Park in Raleigh. I'm a Ranger too, which is just a supervising ranger at the park.
Cool. So we will get right into our questions here. So we've already done position, title, and everything, but please describe your major activities during your work week.
Sure. So we do so many different things, and it depends on if there's an emergency in the park. We might have a medical emergency in the park where we have to do CPR on someone, or we may have programs that we have scheduled with a school group that's coming in, or a school group that we're going to the school to do the program for. So if we're doing programs, we would get ready by getting all the animal furs and the animal skulls and everything together to take to the school. If we're just a normal work week, no emergencies are happening, no programs are happening, we go out, we patrol the trails, we work on the trails, so we might be on a tractor, or we may be using hand tools to fix the hiking trails. And then if we're on closing shift, that means that we have to make sure nobody's left in the park overnight. So if there's a vehicle left in the parking lots, we will have to go on a search for a person. And if we can't find them, then we look up their address and we go do a home knock at their home if they live locally, just to see if they forgot their car or if someone is actually missing. And then we close the gates, lock them up, and lock up the bathrooms and go home.
So it sounds like you have sometimes a very busy week.
Yes. Yeah.
For sure. Cool. All right. And just for the audience, for myself, what types of skills and abilities and personal qualities do you find are the most important in your line of work?
So I think being able to talk to different kinds of people is number one. Just being able to communicate with people. Either it's to let them know what you want them to do, as far as you don't want them to park in the grass, so you try to talk to people, to explain why you don't want that to happen. So I think communication skills are number one. Also, I think any skills in programming, for kids, is also great, because we do a lot of programs. I mean, the parks are here for everyone, but kids are number one visitors. To make them excited about parks and to come back to parks, and just to get involved in the outdoors. So kids, that's another big one. Being able to talk to kids, being able to play around with kids, that's big. And that's, those are the two big things. Everything else you can learn on the job. So chainsawing and using a saw and all those type of things.
Cool. All right. So it seems like it's big on communication, big on being approachable and having patience and being, willing to work with younger groups and kids. That's awesome. So how did you enter the field, and what preparation did you have? As classes or that you took that was especially geared towards you being a ranger, or any outside work that you did?
Sure. So I went to Western Illinois University, which has a Parks and Recreation degree. So I got a Parks and Recreation degree, and I have a minor in urban forestry. So I kind of got my outdoor science stuff with the urban forestry, and then I got my programming and learning about parks and learning about different recreational activities through my Parks and Rec degree. I took all sorts of classes. My emphasis in Parks and Recreation was in outdoor recreation. So most of my classes were geared towards taking groups of kids out into the wilderness. So we did a lot of classes on, one of the classes was we took a canoe trip, and they taught us kind of how to do a canoe trip for kids. which was a lot of fun. It was an overnight, so we had to like pack up all our tents and sleeping bags and stuff, and then learned how to cook for a bunch of people, and learned how to, like, you know, if a kid got scared during the night, you're on the river now, so they couldn't just like go home.
Right.
So just kind of how to take care of issues like that. And then just your normal Parks and Rec classes, learning about the history of Parks and Recreation, learning about how to give a program, learning about facility management, things like that. So
Gotcha. It seems similar to the coursework that I'm doing, which is good.
Yeah.
It's a learning. It's a learning. And leading into that, so you had a Parks and Recreation degree, right? And that's the degree program you went into. And is that the major that you would recommend? Would you recommend any other majors to?
So for a park ranger, I would definitely. So my degree is called Recreation, Parks, Tourism Administration.
Okay.
That's like the name of the degree that I got. But any Parks and Rec, like from NC State or your school, anywhere that you can get a Parks and Rec degree is going to be great. Like, we're not looking for a scientist as a park ranger. We're looking for someone who can teach kids and who can have fun and who can, do all those things, but then also feels comfortable doing the law enforcement aspects of the job and also doing the medical part of the job, which is like people might have a heart attack out on the trail, or they might be lost and you have to find them. Just that kind of stuff. That's what we're looking for.
Gotcha. All right. And types of experience do you recommend, like, getting into this job? So, like, for me, I started here as a seasonal. I started out as a maintenance seasonal, and then got to know you guys a little bit, and then joined ranger staff and became your seasonal. Working at other parks, stuff like that. So, would you recommend, like, those types of experiences? Are there any other experiences you think are valuable?
Definitely. I think if you want to be a North Carolina State Park Ranger, I think doing a seasonal job at any of the North Carolina state parks is like key. It also, if you want to do, so there's internships and then there's also seasonal positions. So either one of those kind of interchangeable. You're going to learn a lot more about the programming aspects in the internship, but in the seasonal you're going to learn about how the park works and cleaning and doing all that type of stuff.
Right.
I think the only other thing that I can, if you want to be more on the sports side, like doing, I think like YMCA type place or a YMCA camp or somewhere that has a recreation center. So even Raleigh Parks and Rec that has like a recreation center. Just learning how a facility works and learning how, because even though you're dealing with a facility, you're also dealing with the parents of the kids and all that. So
everything that goes into
right.
the facility and its visitors. Got it. Okay. And would you say that this career field is growing?
I would say it's growing in the commercial aspects of it. I wouldn't say that it's growing in the like state park aspect of it. Okay. We're kind of at the same level of jobs that we've had all along. They aren't really adding more park ranger jobs, so I think it's just kind of the turnover that's happening right now is just how many positions we have open. But the commercial aspect is exploding. So if you wanted to do something in like the pay for play type atmosphere, you definitely have a lot of options there. I mean, they're hiring people at Disney that have degrees in park and recreation. They're hiring people, in your normal rec centers, your sports teams, all those type of things. So
gotcha.
Those places are definitely getting more jobs.
Right. Okay. And if you could, for me and our audience, describe future prospects of people coming into this field. Like, what can, a young college kid or just, someone who's interested in starting, a career in this field, what can they look forward to?
Sure. I think we're changing a lot as far as like who we're reaching out to for programs. It used to be like just people who come to the park. That's the only people we'd give programs to. And now we're going out into the communities, giving programs to schools. People who may never have step foot into the woods, and so you get to be that first contact of teaching someone about the outdoors, which is pretty cool. So I think just the like the possibilities are endless. It's whatever you bring to the job. If you want to have more inclusive programs for people with disabilities, you can do that. You have the like they kind of allow you to do programs however you want to do them. So
Okay. That's awesome. So it's a very kind of make your own playground
Yeah.
type situation.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know we kind of touched on it a little bit with the academic major and experience, but what suggestions do you have for people starting out?
I would definitely say just get any skills that you can get that might relate to the job. So if it's a park ranger that you're looking for, get that seasonal position, get experience using a weed eater. It may sound silly and dumb, but any like tick that you can get on a box that might be on it's working for the state. They have a certain list of things that they want to see that you can do, and each one of those ticks is a step towards getting the job. So if you're a seasonal and you get a tick for using a weed eater, using a lawnmower, cleaning bathrooms, fixing a small plumbing issue, any of those things, a chainsaw, any of those things that you can get a tick for, that's great. Like you can use that in an interview and say, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this.
Right.
And that's what they want to hear, is that you've seen it. You're not going to be like, oh, it's a clogged toilet, I don't want to do this job anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's number one, just getting some skills in the outdoors and in facilities.
Gotcha. Okay. We're almost done here. We're almost out of time, but on to some more fun things. What is your favorite part of this job?
I think my favorite part of the job is, so there's kind of two parts. One is being outdoors whenever you want to be, and then two is probably the kids and the school aspect. Because when I was a kid, that's what got me into the outdoors, was going to a park, seeing a park ranger. The park I went to, for some reason, they had a boa constrictor, which,
Wow.
and I'm from Iowa, so, not really a native animal,
wanna go to that
but
park.
we thought it was, like, super cool, and we got to hold it, and that was just, like, rocked my world. So, getting to do that for kids, not with a boa constrictor, but, with other things, is kind of a cool feeling. So that's what I like the best.
Nice. Okay. And so this is also a question that I have for me personally, but also for our audience. Resume and cover letter, like you said, I know you said in the interviews, the state wants to see a certain list of checks that you make, and some requirements that you meet, but what are some good tips and tricks to put into your resume,
Sure.
to put into your cover letter?
I think any certifications you have, put that in. If you have CPR, put it on there. If you have, say you took a chainsaw course, put it on there. If you, anything that you feel is like above and beyond, put it on there. If you did a bunch of community service projects, put that on there. Anything that shows that you're willing to get out there and do things is things that they want to see on there. It's not like I went to school here. I mean, of course you're going to put where you went to school, but that isn't what catches people's eyes. The thing that catches people's eyes and makes them remember you is that special experience that you did that you can mention in there, like community cleanup or any of those things.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I had a wonderful time. Thank you
too.
for
No
your
problem.
time, and
No
I
problem.
appreciate you coming in, especially on your day off. I really do appreciate it.
No problem.
Once again, I'm Avi Baxter. This is my Recreation Intro to Sport Management course. I am closing out the day with Eric Tennyson, Ranger 2 at William B. Umstead State Park. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good day.